for all things Halloween. This is Hauntformer, and welcome back to the 2015 Urban Legends Haunted House build, and this is part 1. Before I get into this though, I'd just like to say thank you to all of you who have watched the Creepy Carnival and Phobias haunt builds, and you were along with me, giving me suggestions and ideas. I really appreciate those, and always feel free to leave a comment if you have a great suggestion, because a lot of you are very imaginative and you have great ideas for this haunted house. So again, I want to thank you very much for that. And now, let's start talking about urban legends. So I'm really excited for this year's build. As you can see, this is a layout of the haunted house. I have a detailed one right here in front of me that I drew, but it's not that good. I can really tell what it means. But right now I'm going to kind of run through what happens. You're looking at it, I think, backwards, because I drew it in a way that makes sense to me. So it's kind of backwards to if you were facing the house itself. So really, an upwards hallway, for example, is actually going to be heading towards the street. I know it sounds confusing, but I'll try to explain as best I can. So, right off the bat, as you can see all the way to the left, there's a graveyard, and on this paper here, the graveyard's going to include my male mummy torso, death crawler, tormented zombie, and then Jeff the Killer hiding in the bushes. So that's that cemetery. I want to maybe make it a little more in-depth, because last year it was the zombie babies, but this year it's going to be more actual zombies, and I want to have like flowers in front of some of the gravestones, and maybe even some names on the gravestones, which would be pretty cool. Then walking in, you've got the Green Mile, which is going to include the Insane Inmate, Spasm, and Death Row, and then after that chamber, there's going to be the Executioner. But the three crazies, and, well, actually 2 crazies and Death Row, are going to be inside of this cage thing with bars, and I think that's going to be pretty cool. Death Row is going to be all the way to the end, and then Spasm and Insane Inmate, or the crazies, are going to kind of be, they're going to be around the front of the cage doing their motions. And then as you walk to the back of the cage, there's going to be Death Row being electrocuted. And then before you leave that area, there's going to be the Executioner says his lines, and then it'll move on to the next part of the house, which is Freddy Fazbear's. Now, Freddy Fazbear's is probably just going to be one prop, but here's kind of how I want it to work. There's going to be pictures along the walls of, and this will be its own haunt build, pictures along the walls from the game, and then there's going to be a hallway that you can see down, and there's going to be a curtain, and I'm probably going to have an actor behind it that's going to open the curtain, and a strobe light is going to shine on Foxy, so that way it looks like he's going to run at you, and then the curtain's going to quickly shut. If you kind of can understand what that means, that's what's going to happen in that area. I'll go into depth more in later builds. Next, there's the Haunted Mansion area, which I'm pretty excited for. It's going to be a lot of portraits along the walls, maybe like some old spider webs and spiders. And then at the end, before you go on into the attic scenes, there is the Hatbox Ghost. And the Hatbox Ghost builds will be coming up this June. Actually, probably, I'm filming this in May, actually on Memorial Day. So by the time this video is uploaded, his build will already be uploaded, so you already have seen him. The next room is the attic, which is probably the largest room in the whole entire house. That's going to include Peekaboo Penny, the female mummy, and possibly my electrocuted skeleton, which I don't believe I've ever shown on this channel. It's from Grandin Road. I think it's called the X-ray skeleton, but I call it electrocuted because it looks like it gets electrocuted. And then I possibly may include other props that I get coming up this year, like dolls and things like that, Annabelle. So that goes in there. The attic part 2 is going to have that mannequin from Morbid Enterprises that I really want to get this year, so I'm putting it down because I'm pretty much going to get it. And then there's going to be Limbless Jim there, and then my haunted suitcase is also up there too. Then we're going to go into the aliens area, which is a little bit different than most of the other house. But it's going to have the giant alien leader, alien baby, and I'm going to probably get a few more alien props, such as alien death, or dead alien, and maybe some other standing alien props as well. Also, the toxic waste barrel that I made last year for phobias will most likely be in that area also. Next, the forest is going to have Hex, the flesh-eating zombie, and probably some werewolves. It's going to kind of be like a hallway of zombies. Then there's the Slender Forest, or just the Forest Part 2, which is going to include Slender Man and like signs. Last year, you probably remember I made some signs that were on the walls that said like, "You can't escape," and watches, no eyes, or something like that. That's going to be in there also, maybe even some more props or some actors in there. Then we have the Circus, which is another larger part of the haunted house. I believe the attic is the biggest, and then the Circus is the second largest. We're going to have all the clowns in there. I don't know what clown I'm going to use to stand up on top of something, like the ringleader, but I'd like to do that because that sounds pretty interesting. And then there, of course, is Dead Humor and Thrashing Clown. And then I'm going to have some strobe lights. It's going to be pretty cool. Finally, before they exit the haunted house, guests are going to walk by the birthday party scene. And the birthday party is something I found, I believe, on Halloween Forum, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not trying to take anybody's idea, but it was a very good idea, so I'm going to make it my own way. What it was a table with, like, party favors on it and plates, and there were the zombie babies around it, and they were eating, like, organs and body parts, like hands and fingers. So I thought that was an awesome idea, so this year I'm going to do it in my very own way. And also Heads Up Harry will be in that room most likely too, like watching over the babies as they eat or something like that. So I thought this was a pretty cool idea, and it was almost kind of funny, just a little like ending. And I possibly might put one of the candy bowls in that room for people to pick out, and they can get a closer look at each of the zombie babies. I don't know what order the zombie babies are going to be in around the table, but that's kind of that area right there. So I hope you all enjoyed this part 1 of Urban Legends. I know it was a little bit lengthy, but that's kind of the whole run-through of the whole haunted house. And over the next 20 or 30 haunt builds, we're going to be going in-depth on each area and start building some of the smaller and larger props for those scenes. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you are excited as I am for Halloween 2015 and Urban Legends. I hope you all enjoyed, and remember that for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.